Hey everyone. Like a lot of you, I saw Doug Walker as the nostalgia critic do his video basically on hashtag WTFU. Where's the fair use? And Doug in this video and in his other video or videos pointed out a lot of pointing out a lot of things that definitely need to be fixed. Whether we montage or we don't montage, we're still big targets. Obviously, those that do montage or even those that use or become part of YouTube Red put themselves at an even bigger risk. Basically, montaging, you put yourself on a bigger pedestal than those that don't. You go to YouTube Red, well, you're pretty much fair game no matter what. But the question is, why? But the question is, where is the fair use? I mean, even those that don't montage deal with this. I personally have dealt with this many times. I have a video. Excuse me. I have a video here on YouTube, a fan vid, of a song that I used before in another fan vid that I had to take down and have not been able to put back up. Because one, I lost the video file and, I'd have to redo it again. But there's a video on here that's blocked only here in the United States, but is available everywhere else. And that's No Stopping Us by Ollie and Jerry. And it's from the Breaking soundtrack. And I used it originally in a Cadillac Cats video. Cadillac Cats, part of the Heathcliff cartoon series back in the 80s. As well as I currently used it for a Sonic Comics fan vid. Now, if that's not all, also I've had other videos get copyrighted as well. Some that I used basically newer, if not more, recent pictures and screen pictures and panels from the newer soft retcon rebooted version of Sonic. The Sonic the Hedgehog comic, that is. And still, one of the songs that I did for that was blocked worldwide. Why? Copyright infringement? I don't get it. So where's the fair use in that? I'm not doing anything wrong. If anything, I'm actually promoting the song more so than, it normally would be. It's like Doug said, as the nostalgia critic, what he said in this video. There are a lot of things that, a lot of properties, sequels to movies, video games, comics, that have gone under the radar and totally become irrelevant, that thanks to things like YouTube and people like Doug's nostalgia critic character, Brad Jones Cinema Snob, Angry Joe, Angry Video Game Nerd, Angry Joe Vargas, Angry Video Game Nerd James Wolfe, that a lot of these things that would go under the radar and become irrelevant are now becoming relevant. And people are taking notice. So with that said, where's the fair use? Well, apparently, from what I can tell, the fair use is there. But it's not there, but in the eyes of those that place copyright claims on videos of channels that montage and make on channels of people or groups that montage and make a living off what they do. These companies, these studios, they believe in fair use, but they only believe it if they can line their pockets. The agreement, from what I understand, with montaging on any video sharing site, mostly like YouTube, is you make money off your video. That after a certain amount of time, like so many views a week or whatever, you make money. You get a check, either mailed to you or directly deposited into your account. You make money. You make a living off this. You make income. And that's all in the rights of fair use because and that's all in your legal rights because that's the agreement Google/YouTube put down for you. But on the other hand, there are those out there that will threaten YouTube, threaten Google, either with legal action or try to pay them off by saying, here's this much money, line your pockets with it, and give us this copyright deal. Or give us this copyright claim or strike on this person. Because they believe that if you do montage, hey, it's fine if you montage, let's say, a vlog, like let's say this one. But if you're going to do a review, there are companies and studios out there that would rather have you that wouldn't have a problem with you doing the review, putting all your hard work into it, but only if they montage off it, only if they make the profits. So let's say someone like Angry Joe Vargas. Let's say he wants to do a review of the new Mario Tennis on the Wii U. Nintendo would probably have a problem with it if they made the profits. That's basically it. They wouldn't have a problem with it if they make the profits. I think one of the things Doug said, pointing out in this video, is something that needs to happen. If you're a company or a studio that's going to copyright somebody's video, just because they're doing a review or they're talking about it, don't try to take away the profit. What YouTube and Google need to do is put it to the side, so that no one gets their hands on it. Nobody gets a cent until this issue is settled. And that's a good thing to do, because this way nobody's making money off it, and both have a chance to basically plead their case as to why, in the studio's reasoning, why it is copyright infringement, and why on the creator's side of things it's in fair use and in the legal rights. So that's a good idea to do. But still, with that said, where's the fair use? Why aren't we seeing any of it? There have been numerous times where there have been false copyright claims, and studios that have actually been in favor of fair use, of knowing that the creators are in the legal rights and are in fair use of doing what they're doing. There are people out there that will put a false claim out saying they're so and so, and then that company that right off the bat, that false claim should be suspectable, because that company's already said, hey, we have no problem with you doing it. We have no problem with you reviewing and thus promoting our material. There are those out there that will do that because pretty much they want to be cyberbullies. They want to be trolls. They basically don't like what you're doing. So they'll say, hey, I'm so-and-so, I copyright claim this. Yes, and then there's no truth to it. And then after like 24 hours, a week, maybe 30 days, and everything gets back to normal, they're just sitting back having a good laugh going, ha, 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 ha. All because they don't like what they're doing, because they want to be cyberbullies. They want to be trolls. And sometimes that's targeted towards one area. And I'm not saying this is entirely true. I'm not saying that this is entirely true, but it's targeted towards one area, in my opinion. And that is the young, teenage, adolescent, young college kid group. These are groups of people that don't understand what you're doing is because you have a love a passion for, doing reviews for video games and doing reviews on them, and either saying they're good or they're not, doing reviews of nostalgic movies or TV shows and saying whether they're good or not. They don't understand that. All they care about is, ooh, let's do this. And that's it. And that's where the copyright system gets abused. And that's where that question still comes in of where's the fair use? Because the fair use gets abused. Because where is the fair use even against those that create these false accounts or these false claims? There is none. There is no fair use. And again, you have to wait a legitimate 30 days before that claim disappears. And that person on the other hand is having a good chuckle at your expense. Now, I'm not saying that people that monetize are not, like I said earlier, I'm not saying people that monetize are not the only targets. People that don't monetize are targets too. And we too ask the question of where's the fair use. Heck, I ask that question a lot. Because I've had, like I said earlier, I have one video that's blocked in the United States but available everywhere else. So in the country I live in, I have to ask the question, where's the fair use? I'm not doing anything wrong. And then if that's not all, I mentioned the other fan vid that I did. And then if that's not all, how about the fact that there's one fan vid that features the female characters of both Sonic Sat AM and Sonic X in a music video, a fan vid that I made, featuring the song Say the Word by Kristen Carson Romano, from Kim Possible. Where's the fair use in that? I'm not doing anything wrong. I mean, does Disney honestly want that song to be exclusive to Kim Possible and nothing else? Again, where's the fair use in that? I'm not doing anything wrong. If anything, I'm making people more aware of that song. So again, the question is, where's the fair use? And sometimes you don't even have to monetize and you still get ads put onto your videos because sometimes you're using a song or a clip or something that obviously is being copyrighted, but you're not making money off it. You're not making money off your channel, so why is the ad there? The ad's there because even though you're not making money off it or your channel, the clip or the audio that you got, the people that distributed it, the animation studio or the recording studio, the music label, they're making the profit. Even if you're not making no profit, even if you don't decide, I'm not doing this because I don't want to, they're still doing that. And true, if you're not making money off it, in a sense, my opinion, they have the right to do that. But still, where's the fair use? I mean, and this is where I think it really bugs those creators out there, Doug Walker, Joe Vargas, James Wolfe, and many others. Bob Show, Alpha Omega Sin. This is where it really bugs them. It's like, here they are trying to make a living off what they do, of what they've been doing for nearly a decade, if not a decade in James's case. And yet, they still get targeted and have copyright strikes and claims filed against them. They have features taken off their channel, all because that even though they're in the legal rights for what they're doing, there's no fair use. There's YouTube, Dailymotion, Vimo, VO, wherever, Vessel, Zippycast. Nobody is doing anything to basically stand up and say, hey, look, these people are in the legal rights. They're not doing anything wrong. So again, the question gets arised of where's the fair use? Because obviously, if a group of people or even one person individually can claim false copyright to something, even though they're not associated with anybody, and even though, like I mentioned earlier, that copyright claim could be false, and them saying they're such and such or they're so and so is because they're associated with so and so, or they are so and so, and yet that so and so comes out and says, "No, I never did anything like that. I'm perfectly fine for what's going on." Where is the fair use? Where where's the fair use? Where's the rebellion against that? There's no answer. And this is why this system has to be fixed. And it's not just YouTube. Vimeo, Vio, SoundCloud, Dailymotion, Vessel, Zippycast, Matic Expression, Screenwave. These all have to be fixed. All the copyright situations have to be fixed so that every studio, whether it's a recording studio, a music label, a movie studio, a television studio, a video game distributor or company, they have to realize that everybody is in the legal rights and are in fair use for doing what they're doing. And there's nothing wrong with what they're doing. If anything, they're making people more aware of certain things. Lord Carnage at Classic Game Room, he's making people more aware of certain consoles or devices or games that nobody may be aware of. Same with Chris Brones, the Irate Gamer. Same with Review Tech USA. They're making people aware. And yet you have these companies out there. That don't see that. The only way they see it is if you agree to do all this, put all your hard work and effort into it, but they make the profit. You don't make a cent. I mean, if you come out and let's say a video sharing site or audio sharing site puts up that stipulation or adds that without you even knowing, you're pretty much putting all your hard work and effort and you're not seeing a dime for it. But yet, the people that you're trying to promote said movie or said game or song for, even if you're using it as part of your project, they make the profit, you don't. They don't. And again, that raises the question of where's the fair use? Because you are in your legal rights of fair use when you're doing what you're doing. Because, like I said, if anything, you are promoting what you're talking about. You're promoting not just that game so that people could be like, yeah, that's so and so's opinion, but I want to see for myself. And yet that will cause that person to go out and either rent that movie with their own money and say, here's this, or rent that game and say, here's my money. I want to try this out. I want to see if so and so review is correct about it or if they're wrong. You see, it gives people it gets the word out there about these things. How do I put this? I really didn't. How do I put this? I've always been a fan of Transformers. I've always been a fan, and it didn't take. And it took. And it took someone like Optibotimus and Bolt Matrix to make me want to go out and recollect a lot of my Transformers. It took that kind of nostalgia going around to make me want to do that. It took Ben's Toy Ben to make me appreciate and respect, even though I don't watch the series that much, if at all, except for maybe having two holiday related episodes on DVD. It took people like Ben's Toy Ben to make me appreciate and respect My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. It took the freaking YouTube to make me appreciate that. It took someone like Huey Toonmore, Logan, if you will, to make me appreciate that. It took someone like Rowdy C, Chris Moore, to make me appreciate some of the nostalgic cartoon series of the 80s that I may have forgotten about growing up with. The thing is, It was that kind of awareness through those videos that made me realize there was thing to made me realize and appreciate what Hasbro's done with MLP. It's made me want to go out and recollect my Transformers collection, or recollect or build my Transformers collection even more so. It's made me aware of cartoon series and stuff I didn't even know about or forgotten about from the 80s. And yet, you have companies, studios out there that don't realize that that was the intention and that's in the legal rights of the people that did that, and it's in fair use. And yet they don't see it unless they make the profit. So where is the fair use? This is a system that needs to be fixed, and it's not, like I said, a system on YouTube that just needs to be fixed. It's on all video and audio sharing sites. It is. They're all going to go through, they all are or have gone through or will go through the same problem. And it needs to be fixed before any of those that have yet to go through this problem can avoid it. So they don't have to go through it. Do you think Vessel wants to go through it? Do you think ZippyCast wants to go through it? Do you think any of these upcoming audio video sharing sites want to go through it? No, they don't. They want to avoid it at all costs so that everybody in their legal rights and in fair use can be able to upload and share their opinions and entertain others. And this is something that needs to be fixed now, not just for YouTube, but for all video and audio sharing sites. It does. Because whether you monetize or you don't, you're in your legal rights to talk about or say what you want. You know, I did a review on a 2003 TMNT animated series episode several years ago, and it got copyrighted and taken down because I was reviewing it, and it was just me talking. Where's the fair use there? And again, same with my fanfics. You know, and again, this is something that needs to be worked on. This is something that needs to be fixed. And honestly, there are studios out there, movie studios, television studios, video game companies, publishers, that all understand that what these content creators are doing is in their legal rights and it is in fair use. There are those out there that understand that. But yet, just as there's a lot of those studios and publishers and companies that understand that, there's just as much, if not maybe a bit more, that don't. And that needs to stop. They need to wake up and realize that what people are doing is in the legal rights and it is fair use. And YouTube and all these other video and audio sharing sites need to step up and tell them straight to their faces that what these people are doing is in the legal rights, it is in fair use, and there's nothing wrong. But again, the way I look at it, the only way these companies, these publishers, these studios that don't see it that way, the only way they're allowed any of these reviews or discussions or whatever to be broadcast without a problem is if they make the money, is if their pockets are lined, not yours. It's like they don't have a problem if you're lining your pockets by doing vlogs or doing other reviews because other companies are okay with it, as long as they line their pockets with it, whatever discussion or review or whatever you make based on what they've done or what they've released. And that needs to stop. Because people out there are people like Joe Vargas and Doug Walker and Chris Moore are making people aware of things we may or may not know of, or we may or may not have forgotten about. And this needs to stop. It really does. So, again, I'll end this video by asking the same question Doug did. Where is the fair use?